Hugh and Davie, it's great to have you back at Sunset Park. First of all, starting with Hugh, you played under Alan McLeod, both at Ayr United and Motherwell, and Alan McLeod signed you for Motherwell. Did you have a special connection with Ali?
Yeah, Ali seemed to think so. No, it was good, a good manager. I had the chance to go down to England. It was either England or Motherwell, and I went to Motherwell because Ali was the manager.
And you said it because Ali was the manager there. What was he like in terms of his mannerisms and just the way he tactically viewed the game?
Well, to me personally, his tactics weren't that good, but a great manager.
What was his training like? You said that he wasn't the greatest of you said he was a good manager, sorry, but he wasn't the best of tacticians. What was training like back in those days when obviously you wouldn't have had the brilliant facilities that we've got now with the AstroTurf pitches and stuff like that?
No, we trained at the car park at the racecourse, the school over there on the Ash Park. So there was a lot of touch rugby, and it was good in the snow. You were running in the snow as well. But as I say, tactically wasn't the greatest, but man management, yes.
Now, I've been told by many people around the club that you're the overlapping goalie and you like to have a run at your box. Why was that? Did you just like to have a little bit of enjoyment sometimes, just like, I'm having a wee run out here?
Yeah, so I was the original sweeper keeper.
Yeah. More like the Manuel Neuer of nowadays, eh?
Yes, well, as I say, I was the original.
Aye. Now, Davie, I'm going to move on to you now. You're the right back and you captained the club, and you're also part of the coaching team. What does Ayr United mean to you?
Ayr United means a lot to me. I'm 17 years old together here. Player, coach, I stepped in twice for assistant manager and that until they appointed somebody else. So it's a long time to be involved in the club.
Yep, and I was going to mention there the introduction of VAR to Scottish football is coming next season in the Premiership. And obviously back in the day, how would you lot have coped with VAR? Do you reckon you might have had a few more red cards?
I think when you look at the game now, they just fall down now and you're getting a yellow card or a red card.
Completely different when we played. When we played, if somebody nudged you, I'm not going down, I'm staying up. Especially Dixie. People used to bump Dixie and Dixie elbow them the next time. He made sure he got them.
You mentioned there the elbows and stuff. Now it probably would make you receive a red card if you deliberately elbow someone, but back in the day that was allowed, wasn't it?
Well, you got away with more in the days, sliding tackles and various other kind of tackles. And a lot compared to now, if we played now, the way we played, we would have yellow cards and red cards every week.
Five-a-side it would end up.
And you were a full-back, and also we've got Jordan Houston, who's unfortunately injured for tonight's match. But how did your role as a full-back back then compared to what the modern-day full-back is now? How did that differ?
Modern-day full-backs can go forward. You look at the likes of Tavernier at Rangers, goes into the box and scores a goal. And when I played, we played 4-4-3 or 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. But I still had to get up the park and get back and defend.
Ali always liked you to go up there anyway. But in Dundee United he scored two getting in at the back post. And then, if you didn't get into the back post, Ali was on it. Get in there all the time, you're always score.
Once anything that broke down, you still had to get back and defend. You had to start thinking defensive.
Yep, you said you like to get up and down the park, back and forth, and lifestyle back then has been given a bit of a bad reputation by football fans nowadays, and they were saying how you probably wouldn't take it easy in terms of the fitness aspect. Was that the case for you, or were you all very, very fit men?
Well, I think we were fit. We trained twice a week, sometimes three, but we were part-time at that time. We went into the Premier League, we were part-time, and we still had to go to work the next day, and I think now they've got more time to, if they're full-time, you've got more time to concentrate on the game and work in your game and make yourself fitter. But I would say, when we get in the Premier League, we competed with like say Rangers. We played Rangers, Celtic, Dundee United, big name teams, and we just said, fitness-wise, we're basically fit.
You look at the pitches nowadays; they're so much better than the olden days. And obviously, you as a goalie, it must have been very challenging for you. What kind of challenges did it pose? Obviously the bobble on the pitch, and some of the pitches you'd see on TV from back then, like mud baths.
Yeah, you get bobbles everywhere. You had to keep your concentration levels high. But going back to the fitness, we were as fit as any other team. Played hard, trained hard.
Do you reckon the fact that you trained in maybe not the best facilities actually helped you in that? This is a question to both of you. Kind of helped you in your fitness aspect because you knew that you had to be hard and willing to go and battle for every ball?
I think your fitness was at the start of the season up the Carrick Hills.
So was that a regular thing then, pre-season training up the Carrick Hills?
It was hard.
And this is just a couple of questions to both of you, more kind of generic. So you mentioned the teams you've played here. What was the best team, and maybe name a couple of individual players that have played here that you've played against that you think, wow, they are top players?
Played against?
Well, my second game here was against Jimmy Johnson.
Jinky.
Stand back and admire him.
Douglas said he scored what was the goalie's career against us here. I think they beat us 7-2. We played about 3 or 4 1-2s for the own 18-yard box to ours, right in the top corner. By that game, I could have finished up 7 each because we hit the post in the bar 2 or 3 times. Just there's what in ours, didn't it?
Now, I mentioned that you were the overlapping goalie. My dad's mentioned that a run that you made against Nairn County in the Cup. Yep.
Right-hand side, yeah.
I was wondering if you'd remember that one. Talk us through it if you can remember anything about it.
Well, they were attacking, I got the ball, just seen a big space in front of me, so just carried on. Ended up over the halfway line.
You see players now, that you mentioned you were a sweeper, that they're very good with their feet. The likes of Manuel Neuer is very good with his feet and he likes to play out from the back. Do you reckon that you'd have been able to cope with teams like that? Could you play out from the back with good passing and stuff like that?
I did at that point anyway.
Yeah.
When you see teams nowadays, they're passing, the Man City, they're passing for the back, through into midfield. In your days, we didn't really do that.
No,
we'd pass it about them, but we'd play it up then, come up to support the forwards and that.
So would you say the game's a lot more tactical and technical now?
It's all tactical now. 5 at the back, 3, kind of different formations and that compared to what we were just used to a one formation, 4-3-3.
I mean, you look at the teams you mentioned, Dalglish and Celtic, Dundee United, Rangers, coming here on a regular basis and competing with them. You can't imagine that now, can you? Start with you, Hugh.
No, we used to beat them regular here. We beat them all.
But in the days we had a settled team, and faces didn't really leave the club at the end of the season. Whereas now, with 2-year contract, if they're not playing, they really wanted to leave. We were really interested, as long as we got a re-signing at the start of the season. We got a form saying you've been retained.
Now, after football, what has kept you both occupied? I take it you both live locally, is that right? Yep. So, what keeps you occupied now?
Now, well, I'm retired, so nothing. I've got a wee new puppy, so that keeps me occupied.
Keeps you on your toes?
Yeah, it certainly does.
What about you, Davie?
Well, I had my own business. I had kind of doorstep milkman, and I had that I'd done that for 20 years. I just retired a year past, but I quite enjoyed it. Kind of up early in the morning, so it kept me quite fit. So.
And finally, are you looking forward to tonight's match? Very big ramifications in terms of how we can finish in the table.
It's kind of now or never, into they need to stay up, and that's it.
That was like, I remember our last game. We had to beat Motherwell to stay up.
Here.
Motherwell scored first. I think we ended up winning 3-2.
Jerry scored the winner.
Jerry scored the winner.
Well, thanks very much for talking to us. It's been an absolute pleasure.